The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content.
First and 10 for the Owls at their own 12-yard line. Jared Owens back to pass, looking deep for his wide receiver. Thomas Parker has it at the 50, at the 40, at the 30. Parker's going to go the distance, 88 yards, touchdown FAU.
It's the Howard Schnellenberger Show with FAU head football coach Howard Schnellenberger and your host, former Miami Dolphin Jimmy Cefalo.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Howard Schnellenberger Show. I'm your host, Jimmy Cefalo. A big day for the Owls of FAU. A win on their last game of their inaugural season. A 27-9 victory over Albany at Pro Player Stadium. Coach Schnellenberger, it's a good way to end the first season.
Absolutely is. It changes the dynamics and changes the whole outlook on our football program and our football team. Coming out with a win that was unexpected by a lot of people, to win it handily and to validate what we're doing.
Albany was 7-2 coming into this football game. It's a good team made up of a lot of veterans, and yet with your freshmen out there who seem to play like they were upperclassmen on Saturday, you get the win.
Well, we had a lot more big plays than we've had in a long time, and those big plays translated into touchdowns and gave us enough points to win the game. But more importantly, it gave us a lead early on that allowed us to do some things that we haven't been able to do in the past game.
And your offense played well enough, but it was your defense that really did a nice job. A lot of turnovers by Albany, but your defense shut them down. They
played probably their best game, and that was very rewarding for our defensive coaches, obviously, and for me as well. And for the kids who made it all happen. It's good to play the best you can play at the very end.
Did you get the sense that the kids, even though they were freshmen, had grown up through the season, and it all came to fruition on Saturday?
Well, there was so much adversity in this season, not just the fact that they were young, that it gave me a sense of personal pride that they were able to hang together, work together, and succeed at the very end.
And it was important to go into this off season to give the young men a bit of an incentive, knowing that they could play well, and now to try to build on that for their second season.
Well, they know now that they can win if they do everything just perfectly. What they know also is that they're not as strong as their opponents, not as experienced as their opponents, and that's what we've got to get done here, even before we get into spring practice.
Sounds like you're building up a winter program for them, Coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, all right, the weight room will be important for the Owls of FAU. Let's take a look at the first half action, FAU against Albany at Pro Player Stadium. In the early moments of the football game, Albany makes a big mistake. A 3rd and 9 from the 7. Tony Rotundi, the quarterback for the Great Danes, fumbles the snap, and Danny Hernandez jumps on it.
Boy, it was wonderful to see a break go our way early in the game, and these things haven't happened to us early in other games.
And the momentum's clearly now on the side of FAU at the 7-yard line on the very next play. The Owls capitalize when Doug Parker finds a hole on the left side and goes 7 yards, nearly untouched for the touchdown, 7-0 Owls.
A lot of good blocking in this play. You take a look at Richards, Dave Richards blocking the defensive end out. Colin James is leading up inside and puts a hat on the linebacker, allowing Parker to bounce outside and then cut back against the green on the safety and score, as you say, almost untouched.
Just the way you draw it up, 7-0 Owls. FAU again with the football on their own 12-yard line. Allen looking downfield. He finds his big wide receiver, Thomas Parker, who beat the cornerback easily and then sprinted into the end zone for a touchdown to make it 14-0 FAU.
Well, this is a play that we work on all the time, and here we got very good blocking by our offensive line. A nice throw over the top, a little short, but not enough to keep Thomas from out sprinting the secondary guy that actually falls. And then he has it all his way from there.
Your running game played well too, Coach. DeColin James, the fullback, got a quick hitter right up the middle and a nice run into the secondary.
Well, DeColin has really picked up his running ability. He's done a great job of blocking for Parker and for Anthony Jackson, but here he demonstrates his running ability.
A gain of 27 yards down to the 8-yard line. This set up this play. Doug Parker from the right side on the pitch. Again, watch DeColin James, #1, with a great block on the corner.
Well, you can see the inside pursuit's cut off as well, and then that block has some meaning. We do have to run through the safety, which Parker does a good job of. Gets it across the goal line before he lets it get away from him, but watch him now. He's going to pick it up and hand it to the official, what we've been talking about all along.
Just like you teach him, 20-0. The point after touchdown was no good, but FAU was on top. Albany finally got on the board when their field goal kicker, Brian Backstad, hit one from 27 yards out. FAU goes into the locker room with a 20-3 win, a lead rather, over Albany. Coach, it's been unusual for you. What did you tell the kids at halftime? Because usually you're coming from behind at this point.
Well, we had to reverse everything that we've been saying in there, that obviously the first half is over. We're ahead by X number of points, and now we got to go out and win the second half. We don't want to just hold them off, but we want to go ahead and have production in the second half. We didn't have all that much production, but we did get one big play out of the kicking game, which really salted the game away.
And your running game was effective, both from the fullback and the running back position.
Yes, and that was good to see. Our offensive line got more hats on linebackers than they have in the past, and that allowed some runs to break the line of scrimmage.
All right, FAU with a big lead at halftime. We'll come back and take a look at the second half highlights on the Howard Schnellenberger Show right after this.
Well, we got to go back out and make damn sure we teach them a lesson, and that we shut them down like you've been doing. And offensively, we're going to take it to them, knock them back. Backs are running, or getting yardage. Quarterback's going to get rid of the ball quicker. We're going to not take any loss. Now, this could be something special now. Let's preserve it. Let's make it happen.
The Howard Schnellenberger Show is brought to you by Applied Card Systems, an industry leader right here in Boca Raton. Fidelity Federal Bank and Trust, here today, here to stay. Boca Raton Community Hospital, we're with you every step. And 5 Star Productions, South Florida's #1 film, television, and radio production company, exceeding all expectations.
Welcome back to the Howard Schnellenberger Show. I'm your host, Jimmy Cefalo. At halftime, the score at Pro Player Stadium last Saturday, the Owls of FAU led Albany 20-3. Let's take a look at the second half highlights. The Owls showed a bit of aggressiveness during that second half. Joe Walker on the blitz forces the quarterback, Marcus Rotundi, into the arms of Ramon Rickards and throws him down for a 1-yard loss.
Well, Jimmy, we didn't blitz a lot in the game, but the defensive coordinator, Kurt Hoza, sort of picked the right spots, and the result was great.
Albany needed to get back into the game, so on 4th and 7 from the 28 of FAU, they go for it. Around the right side, Rotundi throws the football, nearly picked off by Tyrone Higgins, and once again the Owl defense stops the Great Danes. A little bit later on, Rotundi, again with the football, is met by a sea of blue jerseys. He's sacked for an 11-yard loss. Hernandez, Sloan, Walker, McKinley, all in action for the Owls, and the Great Danes are forced to punt.
Well, when you get ahead and they get in a pass-only situation, the pass rush has to be come to the front.
The Great Danes also try to apply some pressure, this time on quarterback Jared Allen. His pass looking downfield for Danston Darius is picked off by Brian Green. Albany gets the ball deep in FAU territory. Coach, that had to worry you.
It worried me because this was the first miscue by our quarterbacks and gave them great field position that would lead to this score.
Now in at quarterback at Albany was Brian Roeder. He hits his tight end Greg Sigler for the touchdown. A missed PAT. FAU led 20-9 with 10:35 left in the game, but it ended here. On the punt, a big one too. Billy Pikes from Albany hits a 50-yarder. It's brought in by Brittany Tellis on the right side. He breaks to his left, finds the wall, and he's gone, Coach.
Well, it was a long punt, and he outkicked his coverage a little bit, allowing Tillis to get to this near sideline, and he picked up the convoy right here and takes it all the way to seal the victory.
A 75-yard score for the Owls, the first punt return in school history. 27-9 was the final score, and you get the great Gatorade shower.
Boy, was that a surprise, Jim. I haven't been bathed in anything that cold as long as I can remember. But I'm glad that Hernandez and Matthews, both seniors, elected to shower me. I'm going to take it as a real act of love.
Well, plus they're not coming back next year, Coach, so they don't have to worry about any retribution. It must be a great feeling, Coach, to come. It's Bob Ford you're talking to, the head coach of Albany, who's been there for 29 years now. Puts a nice program together. His team was 7-2 coming into the game, yet you dominated the afternoon.
Well, it was very good for our football team to end on such a positive note. And as you pointed out, a winning record by the team who we had just beaten, and I think that happened quite a bit during the year.
Yeah, I don't think you beat any teams that had losing records when you met them. You had a good inaugural season, Coach. Can you put it into perspective? 4-6 for your first year. You've got to be happy with it.
Well, I'm happy with the way the kids played this season and the adversity that they overcame, and there was a lot of it. But that they never hung their heads. They never thought that they were outmatched or outclassed, and they kept fighting and battling. And then to get a win in this last game means an awful lot to the future of the program.
You know, you have something to build on.
Absolutely. Weight training is going to be a lot more important because now they see how much stronger some of those kids were than they are. Some that were 3 years older, they know now that they've got to know their assignments. They've got to do the things that's necessary in preparation. So we're in good shape. I feel very good about what happened this year.
Especially after that win against Albany on Saturday afternoon. Let's take a look at the play of the game. This was the play that sealed the victory for FAU. Punter Billy Pike hangs one deep and long, a 50-yard punt. Brittany Tellis pulls it in his 25. Coach makes one move to outrun a defender, and then he picks up the wall down the sideline.
And Danny Hernandez gets the big block there. You saw the kids sprawling, and then a good move here by Tellis, picks up the convoy, and they escort him and really don't throw one of those blocks that you hate to see behind the kick.
And he leaps into the end zone. That drew the flag. I know he was excited on the afternoon, Coach, but that couldn't have made you happy.
Well, we had to kick the extra point from 30 yards, so no, it made me very unhappy.
Yeah, but a big day for you. The first punt return ever in FAU history, and so a great afternoon for the Owls. Coach, each and every week we try to profile one player from the inaugural class from FAU. This time it's cornerback Lee Pasick.
Yeah, he's special in my heart. He's a walk-on who has been in every game we've played, every tough situation, has overcome injury, and has really gutted it out and become a very positive member of this football team.
The walk-ons have been very important to the FAU program in this inaugural year. Let's take a look at cornerback Lee Pasick.
The things that are important to me in life, I have to say, is God, number one. You know, put him first in everything I do. I want to be known as a godly person, and that's what I would like to be, as most godly as I can be.
Just to come to you, Father, and just...
Things that are important to me is my family. I see family as my foundation for everything. Everything you do, your family is your foundation. No matter what happens, you can always go back to your family, and they're always going to be there. They're never going to leave you. You know, I like to spend time with my girlfriend and her child and her family, since my family's so far away. You know, it just brings back the whole family atmosphere.
Hey, who's that?
That touched the sky.
You can't compete without being physically ready. It's the main ingredient besides being mentally prepared.
I use a parachute when I run my sprints. I use a chute during my workout for resistance, which helps increase my speed. So when I drop the chute, I feel like I'm running freely, like there's nothing holding me back.
What I bring to the FAU football team, I feel, is leadership, as both a person and a player. Because when I'm off the field, I'm trying to do all the right things. When I'm on the field, I'm trying to do all the right things. And I'm trying to be an example to any younger man that's going to come up through the program. On any given play, I just want to whoop the person in front of me. If I win my battle at corner against the receiver and I whoop my man, and the other 10 guys on my team whoop their man every down, every play, then there's no way we can lose. I want to be known as a destroyer, a terminator of all things on the field. You know, you can be big, you can be small. Every man falls the same. So you're going to feel my pain.
Bring it on, baby!
Welcome back to the Howard Schnellenberger Show. I'm your host, Jimmy Cefalo. The Owls of FAU with a 27-9 victory over Albany on Saturday afternoon. Numbers always play an important role, so let's take a look inside the numbers. Coach, you outgained Albany 267 to 245, but perhaps the most important element for your team was the fact that you scored on 2 very long plays.
Well, that's absolutely true, and sometimes you like to win the battle of the stats, but most of the time you like to win the game. So the fact that we were able to do that without accumulating a lot of yards on the ground, both running and passing, is not that important.
The other element that strikes me by looking at the statistics is the fact that Albany was only able to complete 10 of 25 passes, and so defensively, despite the fact that you had some defensive backs injured and out of the game, you played very well against their passing attack.
Well, and we also, getting ahead, knew that they were going to pass more, so that gave us a better opportunity to rush, which always cuts down your proficiency. So overall, I thought the defense played one of its best games. I thought the offense early played a remarkable game. And the combination of the two, and then add that punt return, gave us the winning edge.
All right, let's take a look at the stat of the game. This week's stat is turnovers. 9 times Albany put the ball on the ground. They lost 4 fumbles. Coach, that played a huge role in the game.
Big role, and obviously the one that we had coming up here was not big because the game was out of reach, but certainly a big one for them.
Especially when it's in the 4th quarter, when you're up, when you're protecting a lead, and you throw the ball up like that, throwing the ball against the grain. You don't like to see that kind of a turnover. But do you remember a game in which you've coached where you saw 9 fumbles by an opponent?
If they were all from center, no. But I think all but one was from center, so that was very unusual.
Yeah, a majority of them, they had trouble with the exchange from the center and the quarterback, and that played a large role in this game. But, Coach, overall, you protected the football a little bit better this week, and that's really why you won.
Absolutely. 2 interceptions, 1 after the fact.
All right, we'll come back in just a moment in the Howard Schnellenberger Show. We'll take a look at the question of the week for the coach right after this.
The Howard Schnellenberger Show has been brought to you by Applied Card Systems, an industry leader right here in Boca Raton. Fidelity Federal Bank and Trust, here today, here to stay. Boca Raton Community Hospital, we're with you every step. And 5 Star Productions, South Florida's #1 film, television, and radio production company, exceeding all expectations.
Welcome back to the Howard Schnellenberger Show. I'm your host, Jimmy Cefalo. Coach, it is time for the question of the week. The question is from John DeCero, Coach. He'd like to know, if talking to students, what would you tell them about the future of the program and about the inaugural season?
Well, Jim, I would tell the students that the program is in great shape, that we're very excited about what we've accomplished this year, and we're looking forward to next year and the years to come. We're just in the beginning stages of the development of this program. Kids now that have been with us for 1 year will have twice as much experience as they did this year. They'll have a full season to get stronger and to learn more about their position. And they know each other a lot better now. Everything that happened this year was a first. The first game and the first away game, first road game, and all the mechanics that go through developing a team. The camaraderie, the being able to trust each other, being able to have confidence in each other, all began to develop now. So as we go into this off season and looking forward to the second season, I feel that we're right on track to get where we need to get when we need to get there.
And you feel that if you continue to build the right program, put a better product on the field, then everything else will fall into place?
That's the essential, bringing the right kind of coaches together, bringing the right kind of kids together, having a practice ethic that will allow them to grow and develop, and then to win football games. And when you win football games, you start attracting not only the students, but the alumni and the basic football fans here in South Florida.
What has the reaction been from the alumni? For so many years, FAU, the folks who have gone there, have wanted a program like this. Now you have it. What's the reaction?
Well, those that have come to the games and have experienced it have fallen in love with it already. Those that are on the edges now know that we're playing, and I think they're fans of the heart now. Those fans of the heart, those that believe in us and want us to do well, when they become physical fans, come to the stadium and start getting the feel of cheering and the kids and getting to know the kids, that's when this program will become of age.
I understand that you're going to schedule some Division I opponents as early as next year.
This coming year, we'll have three Division I teams, and those announcements will be coming out shortly.
And that's ambitious, isn't it?
Well, we have to be ambitious. We can't be concerned about how many games we win. I mean, if we win 7 games, 8 games, 6 games, that's not the important thing. The important thing is to schedule challenging opponents so that we can grow much faster, and that's what our intent is, to grow and become Division I.
What about for you, Coach? You've had so much experience, so many different places, and building so many programs. What has your experience been like in the inaugural year?
Well, it's been like it was at Louisville and Miami, where we both had losing seasons, and we're both in the process of developing. And I thank goodness that I've had those experiences, because that gives you the strength and the understanding that things are getting better all the time, and that it doesn't make any difference where you start. It's where you end up that counts.
And for you, wins and losses, building a program of quality, getting the kids educated, and giving the alumni a nice experience is really what it's all about.
The football, as it relates to a university, is so important and so satisfying that just making sure that you're doing the right thing so that you put out a top-of-the-line product eventually.
Well, Coach, it's been a real pleasure doing the show with you this year, and we've got one more show to go. That'll do it for this edition of the Howard Schnellenberger Show, but please join us next time for our season finale. For the coach, I'm Jimmy Cefalo. Thanks for joining us. So long, everybody.
Coach Schnellenberger's attire is provided by Moss & Hoffman, located at 400 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton.
This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content.